This episode of the Walt Vault podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is a completely free podcasting tool that allows you to create your very own podcast for no money whatsoever.
You know who should have a podcast? It's me, Yogi.
Oh my god, Gergie, no, what are you doing here?
Yogi heard that people love his voice, so he wants to project it to the world on Apple Music, and iTunes, and Spotify, and Stitcher, and all the places where podcasts are distributed.
Oh my god, Gergie, no, nobody wants to hear you talk.
Yogi can even make money on his podcast with the Anchor's free sponsorship program.
Wait, you're gonna get paid for this too?
Yes, and it's all possible with Anchor and their free creation tools.
Oof, okay, well, I'll bite. What's your podcast gonna be called, Gergie?
It's gonna be Yogi Gets It. Available on all podcast platforms thanks to Anchor.
Well, you've heard it here first. Go to Anchor.fm to get started. Download the free Anchor app, and you can make your own podcast. Anchor. It's so easy, even Gergie can do it.
Yogi!
Two young women accidentally bring back the Sanderson sisters to modern-day Salem and must figure out how to stop the child-hungry witches from wreaking havoc on the world.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault episode 185.
nice volumetrics.
Thank you very much. Happy Halloween, everybody!
oh spoopy.
This episode is premiering on the All Hallows Eve itself, and
Why is it called Hallows Eve? I always thought that was the day before Halloween, like Christmas Eve.
I think it's the day before November 1st.
Oh,
All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Day.
okay.
I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
The eve of All Hallows.
Now I gotta look up.
Van Hallows.
Is November All Hallows Day? Oh, good God.
Hallows Eve is the day before Halloween.
There was a movie called All Hallows Eve.
It's probably not.
Man, I left my water bottle at school, Mo. Heck of mad.
You have your mic on, bruh.
He knows. He's upset about
He's
it.
letting the people know he got his freaking water
I
bottle.
have my mic on and I don't talk into it sometimes.
In spirit of
He's
Halloween,
just mad because he's looking at mine and Michelle's water bottles like
Like,
jelly.
we got water.
Yellow,
I got water, he ain't got
We
none.
ain't
yellow
parched.
jelly.
Parched.
We ain't parched.
we ain't porch.
I'm a pepperidge in the parched tree.
I'm done. Okay, explain Hallows leaves, please.
Is it a pepperidge in the parched?
No.
Is it a partridge in a parched tree?
It's a
Partridge in a pear tree.
My next one was pepperidge in a parched tree.
I'm done with you.
Halloween, a contraction of All Hallows Eve, a holiday observed on October 31st, the evening before All Saints or All Hallows Day.
Okay.
That's what November 1st is?
Yes, the celebration marks the day before the Western Christian
Hallows to
feast
the
of
gallows.
All Saints and initiates the season of All Hallow Tide, which lasts 3 days and concludes with All Souls Day. Wow, there's a lot of all stuff happening.
So All Souls Day is that
It's
I
like
don't
November
know.
3rd or 4th or something like that. I don't know.
there's a lot of this we didn't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's some November in there.
Yeah.
I'm not a
November.
witch, so.
Anyway, it's not November till tomorrow.
You better not be a
Oh, dang.
Wow.
Yeah, we
You're-
forgot. Luis
if you're
doesn't
gonna be
like
in
this
this
stuff.
freaking household.
He doesn't do that kind of spoop.
Nah.
But we're doing all kinds of spoofs because this week we are talking about the brand new 2022 live action Disney sequel, Hocus Pocus 2.
That was a
Hocus Locus.
mouthful.
Yeah, it's always kind of a mouthful.
Hocus Pocus is the original, and number 2 to me is Hocus Locus.
We call it Hocus Locus because our autocorrect on our phones when we're texting about this, it always changes Pocus to Locus because I guess Locus is an actual word and Pocus isn't.
But it is.
I mean,
And Hocus is a word.
I didn't write the dictionary, okay? I don't know.
He's not Miriam.
I'm gonna look it up.
You're not Merriam-Webster. You
What-
should
what
be Merriam-Webster for Halloween.
What is the definition of hocus?
It's all a bunch of hocus pocus. It's a bunch of gibberish, you know.
Hocus, verb, to deceive. Okay?
Okay, and what's pocus?
Okay, and now watch this. Pocus. Pocus definition. The term point of care ultrasound. Pocus.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
So it's an acronym.
So it's not.
It's an acronym for a
Okay, then look up
ultrasound.
hocus pocus definition.
What is the original meaning of hocus pocus? In the early 1600s, hocus pocus was a name commonly adopted by a juggler or a magician. The name and the words hocus pocus were often chanted during tricks involving sleight of hand, and it's believed to be a perversion of the of the Latin blessing from the Catholic Mass, "Hor est corpus meum," or "This is my body."
Oh.
Dang.
Okay.
What does it say on Miriam?
This is according to
Fake Latin.
Oxford. It says
Sir Oxford says,
hocus pocus is meaningless talk or activity,
Yeah.
often designed to draw attention away from and disguise what is actually happening.
Yeah, it's a bunch of gibberish. It's a bunch of wishy-wash.
Mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
this is the next one. You ready? Is abracadabra in the dictionary a mystical word or expression
Is
used in
Alakazam?
incantations, on amulets, etc., as a magical means of warding off misfortune, harm, or illness? Abracadabra.
Alakazam.
I looked up pocus on Urban Dictionary, and I actually am not allowed to.
You are not allowed to read that.
Hocus?
On the podcast.
No,
yeah, so-
hocus, yeah. All right, well,
Anyway.
then
I
let's
wonder
get
what
into...
they doing.
So go look it up yourself, Louise. All right, let's get into it. We got a Louis answer question. I don't know.
All right, y'all. Would you rather live in Hogwarts Castle or live in a Marvel movie?
What?
Hold on. I need qualifications.
It's a would you rather. No qualifications.
But a Marvel movie.
I know,
Where am
like a
living
whole
versus
movie?
the castle. Where am I living
in the universe?
Also, like,
Yes, I guess the Marvel universe. I mean,
So Harry Potter universe
So,
versus...
626
but
in
well,
a Marvel universe.
or 681. What's the
It's
It needs-
616.
So I was
But
close.
okay, so living in a Marvel universe, right?
626 is
There's a lot of
Stitch.
superheroes. There's a lot of them, but there's also like a lot of regular people. A lot of chances that you're not gonna be a superhero or get any kind of
Louise,
powers.
I feel like
It's
you
a
have to.
50-50
I feel like you
toss-up,
have to
y'all.
give us a
If you're-
location.
That's what I said, is that he said no qualifications. So I'm going to say I want to live in Harry Potter world, universe, but I don't think I should have to live in Hogwarts Castle.
Yeah, I don't want
I
to
mean-
live at school forever.
I'll live at Hogwarts. I'm fine with that.
It's like the Scottish Highlands, isn't
They got-
it?
Yeah, it's pretty there. They
It
got
snows.
I don't care. They got free food. They got free food in the kitchens. The elves is in there.
Food?
They-
That's
that
if you're a
one.
student.
You think the teachers are paying for their food?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Apparently he's a teacher.
If I go into that great hall and I sit down in a chair, some food better magically appear in front of my plate
What are you
without me
teaching?
having.
I'll
to
be a
clean up.
magical bar instructor, okay? Hey. Lift that leg by yourself, no ghosts.
Yeah. You know what? They must have an HR at Hogwarts. I can work.
You
work
can do
in
some
there.
payroll.
Yeah.
All right.
You can work in the dungeons, the equivalent.
Oh yeah, it's probably musty down there. But you know.
Well, he
my
works in a
office-
prison,
my
if
office
that's
is
not
musty,
funny.
too.
I guess if I'm gonna pick a fictional world to live in, then yes, I would also pick Hogwarts.
Hogwarts world.
Hogwarts world. Wizard.
Yeah, because then the chances of me being a wizard are higher, I think.
Or at least you could be friends with a wizard.
Right. I
Like
could be
anybody walking down the street, like, hey, you got that magic dough? I am Muggle, but I like to know yous.
You could be like Filch, who is
Squibby.
who is a squib. He lives at Hogwarts.
What is a squib?
A squib,
A squib is a non-magic. It's a non-magical
right. It's
person.
a person,
In a magical family.
Yes, it's a person born from a magical family. Got a witch mom, wizard dad, but no magical powers.
Oh
himself.
my gosh.
It's a
That's
sucks to suck.
steamy.
It's a sucks
Yeah,
to
that's
suck.
why
for
Filch
sure.
sucks. He's a squib.
Squibs. That's such an awful
Everybody
word, though.
around him is doing magic all the time, and he's got his broom and his mop, and he's just.
Mrs.
Hey, nah,
Norris.
he has
and
Mrs.
he's got Mrs.
Norris.
Norris.
All right, don't downgrade his life.
Dude, he only had Mrs. Norris for a second, though. Oh, no, she came back. I
Shit,
forget.
Louise, what was
She got
your
petrified.
answer?
My answer, I think I'd probably pick Harry Potter World too, just because it's a 50-50 toss-up, like what kind of Marvel life you live in, you know?
Right. Right.
I don't want to be in the hand. I don't want to be getting beat up by Chitaris.
I could just be in Sokovia and the whole city's coming down on my face.
You never know.
We already know that if I was in the Marvel universe, I would have gotten snapped, okay? Was I the only one that got
You were the only one who got snapped.
That's true.
I'm not trying to get snapped for 5 years.
We kept living without you.
I wake up well rested.
I don't think that's how it works. I think
Exactly.
you wake up exactly how you were before.
No, forget that.
Yeah.
On my couch.
And your husband's got a new wife.
You said you wouldn't get a new wife.
Here's the even better part. We don't live here anymore. What, is she just going to fall to the floor with no couch there?
She's going to walk
Hey,
into
nah,
his
she
house
comes,
anyway.
she comes back. This guy's over there, you know, about to have 2 wives.
Yeah, I'll double up.
Be like,
You gotta share,
hey,
but-
Michelle,
Absolutely not.
Michelle,
This is the lot you live, you know?
keep it or leave it.
Right.
Take it or leave it.
You got to have me and a wife or nobody.
Hawkeye didn't get a new wife.
Yeah, Hawkeye
But he
should've
also
pulled
had a
out the
pretty
vengeance
BA
and stuff.
katana. I'm pretty sure Andre don't got a katana somewhere in his closet. If he did,
But he's got
trust.
a BA wife that he should.
Well, he don't have you no more. Bye.
Exactly.
All right. I'll go commit murder, fine. I'll go commit vengeance upon all the villainy and scum of the world.
You could be
And I'll be
Batman.
sad.
You could be Batman, Andre.
Batman. Well, you got to have a little bit of money to be Batman.
Oh. when we never said it was DC universe, so I guess not.
Right.
That's the thing. We ain't got no money, no connections. We ain't doing nothing in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
see, if I'm at
I don't know,
Hogwarts, I'll
Iron
just
Man.
be posted up, you know.
You could go visit San Quentin. No, that's where Ant-Man was, right?
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I could go to prison and hang out with Ant-Man. And
I'm just trying to come up
Marvel
with like
universe.
things we could do in a Marvel universe.
I mean,
Anywho,
technically, I think you might be able to go visit them. Like, there's no rule saying you can't visit unless they're in like a high-end security thing. You could just go visit a random dude in jail.
just anybody.
I thought you were talking about the Avengers, not people in San Quentin. I was like, what, we're going to fly to upstate New York? Anywho.
Yeah.
You know where we're gonna go
Avengers
visit
campus.
instead? Salem.
Right.
And we did, remember?
You did.
Oh yeah, you.
Yeah,
did.
we did.
Yeah. I was
5 years
talking
ago
about
at the
that.
beginning
Was
of
it
this
spooky?
podcast. It was spoopy, and Luis wanted to leave before we got to do anything fun because it was too spoopy for him.
Luis doesn't like that.
Right.
There are certain things that I like.
Luis doesn't like voodoo.
There's certain things I like.
No witch.
Anything else? There's a follow-up to that half sentence.
No
I mean, I don't mean to be weird, but who likes voodoo except people who do voodoo? Like, I'm trying to understand
I'm
how
not
you
saying
how
we
you
like
qualify
voodoo.
that.
But if Andre went to New Orleans, he'd be like, "I got friends
Would
on
he?
the other side."
No, you would not.
I
Not
don't
if you
think
had
I
that
would.
voodoo experience I
No,
had. You would
you don't
not be
think you
doing that.
would?
I think if
I'd
I'm,
go in a voodoo shop. Would you?
I'd go in, but what I'm telling you is that we're going to the po' boy sandwich shop before the voodoo shop. You know what I'm saying? I'm going down to New Orleans to eat. I don't really care about the voodoo stuff. I want some crawdads. I want some shrimp.
I can't eat any of that.
Well,
You could eat a po' boy.
Michelle, you're willing to do voodoo, but you won't eat a crawfish? What is wrong with you?
I'm allergic,
What's
dude.
up with you, girl?
I'm allergic to shellfish.
And you're not allergic to the devil? No, I'm joking. I'm not trying to offend anybody on that
I didn't say I was gonna do the voodoo.
one. Then you're over here
It's just-
talking all kinds of masa right
And
now.
they're making
I'm
a
just
little Andre
saying,
doll and sticking them with
If you're
sewing
in,
needles and
if
stuff.
you're in Salem, you're gonna go look for some witchery, and if you're in New Orleans, you're gonna go looking for some voodoo.
No, you don't have to. You could go listen to some nice jazz.
Right, we
Have a
jazzing
nice
it up.
cup of coffee.
We could drink
Who's
out
out
in the
there
streets. We could
searching for
have a little
voodoo?
parade. There's all
I'm not
kinds of things
searching
to do.
for voodoo.
That's what you're saying
That's
you're
what-
doing
that is
I'll
what
just
you're
go
saying.
flash my get some beads.
in November. Girl, I'm pretty sure you're gonna
Andre
get
is trying to have
registered
a
as sex
family-
offender in November.
She's trying to have
Okay.
a family-friendly podcast, you guys.
Seriously.
Oh, Mardi Gras.
Anyways,
It's not
Salem.
February. Move along.
Anywho,
Anyways, I do want to go to Salem. I think that would be cool to go there one day.
to see the witcheries.
I think Luis was saying, in some ways, I think it's cool, and in other ways,
Spooky.
it's like because places like that especially in regards to, well, it had history way before this movie.
Tourism.
So touristy. And so it's like you can tell the people who live there hate everybody. Right? Because their town is literally an attraction. It's like,
yeah, I don't think I would live in Salem.
no, but like, when I go places, I want to talk to local people. Like, I want to get the feel of the place. And when they're like,
get out of here.
I'm not about
don't
it.
Want you there.
That's not fun.
Bye.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like Forks. Probably like that now.
Is that a real place, though?
Forks, yeah.
I didn't know it was a real town.
Explain more about Forks. Just give me one more.
Forks is
Vampire.
You go,
Oregon.
Lou.
Forks, Oregon. Where
Actually,
where
Forks-
Twilight happened.
Yes.
That is the
not
context that
Oregon.
I
The
want.
other one.
It's not. I don't think it's
Washington.
in
I thought
Washington, yeah.
It's in Washington.
One of
Right
them
by
states that I'm
the
going
Canadian
to.
border.
But anyway,
Those cold northern states
Forks
from
is
where we
like
are.
that now. It's a tourist town.
I didn't know Forks was a real town. I just.
Oh yeah, it is. You can visit it.
Oh, yeah.
Sticks.
Because of the Twilights.
What?
Where's spoons?
Oh, I don't know where spoons is. Or sport.
Do they happen to have a butter knife?
Shut up.
I hate you guys so much.
Why you say that?
Louise's
If
little
you really
eyebrows.
hated us, we wouldn't have this podcast. You could just say, I love you guys so much, but sometimes I can't.
I think I say I can't at least 85 times an episode.
Don't say you hate us.
Can't comes up a lot.
Anyways, Hocus Pocus 2. Andre,
Such
what
a
was
strong
what was
word.
your first impression?
I enjoyed this. This was fun. Going into a sequel that's 30 years later, basically, the expectations are kind of. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be like a crappy Disney Channel original movie, I guess, as a sequel to Hocus Pocus, which was like a cult classic, right?
Right.
And I think it ended up having a fun story that was very similar to the original, obviously, but also had enough differences to keep me surprised and on my toes. I liked the new characters that they introduced, and I liked the origin story that they told of the Sanderson sisters that was different than the origin story that they had in the first movie. I think there were enough differences in this to make me enjoy it all the way through, and I was laughing. I liked the boyfriend character who was just like a dumb jock or whatever, and he kept calling them weird witches and stuff like that. I enjoyed this.
Was that mean?
Yeah. I thought I was just saying facts or whatever.
Stupid.
But yeah, I think overall this was a fun movie, and I don't think I'd like it more than the original Hocus Pocus, but I wouldn't be opposed to next Halloween, watching this again.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Because sometimes it's like, we really don't need a reboot, right? But I think Hocus Pocus is such a cult classic now that it was kind of like, I was excited for a reboot. Usually I'm not. Usually I'm like, no, let's not do that. But there's just something about Kathy Najimy and Sarah Jessica Parker and what's the other girl's name?
Bet.
Midler.
You could remember the other ones?
Kathy Najimy was killing me this movie. I don't know. She was.
Luis was like, did she have a stroke? I'm like, you don't remember her lip doing that?
Yeah, that's the face.
Yeah, that's her.
I was like, what?
That's her Sarah.
But-
I did it in a bad way.
I don't-
I was like,
Not her Sarah face, her Mary face.
Yeah,
Mary
that's
face,
that's
excuse
the
me.
face. But
I know you didn't mean it in a mean way, but that's legitimately.
That's
Oh my
the
God, she's
character.
so pretty.
I know,
so
she's gorgeous.
cute.
Kathy
Kathy
Najimy.
Najimy?
Mary. When she doesn't have her,
hair.
her stroke face going on, she looks pretty good.
We need to pull it back.
I know.
But anyways, I mean, it wasn't better than the first one, but it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if this generation has Hocus Pocus 2, then they're in good hands. I still liked it. Luis.
I thought it was good, actually. Kind of similarly with Andre, because you weren't really expecting, or not necessarily expecting, just not sure of how it was going to go. I went in, not having an expectation for it, And sometimes that's okay, because, I'm guilty to the max when it comes to, having an expectation for a movie, I'm not going to see it, I think it's dumb, it's this and that. And it was nice not having to have that.
Good enough.
Yeah. Emily.
Yeah.
Maybe enjoyed it a little bit more,
Yeah.
I agree with everybody. I thought it was good. I mean, I tried not to listen to feedback from people because I don't, I don't like to take other people's ideas into account when we're watching this. But
Me.
you guys,
No, I was gonna say I agree with you too. Me too. What's wrong with you guys? Come on.
I'm
move
not
on.
cutting any of this out. Anyway, your first impression? Go on.
do they know why we're laughing?
I
Did
think
she
so.
say it into? Did you say it into the mic?
No, but your voice, it carries.
Okay, well then, if you heard it, listeners, then you're in on the joke. If you didn't hear it,
Well, and the best part was Louise said, "Me too."
rewind it.
Oh
I'm just
God!
paying back, Michelle.
I just wanted to know
All
who
those
did it.
times.
What?
Anyways,
Toot revenge.
Toot sweet. Okay, I
ahead.
enjoyed the movie.
You fool of a toque. What? You remember? Gandalf said that.
We know where it's from.
Is that when that's when he knocks down that
Yes, the thing
Yeah,
down the
no,
well.
I love that scene so much. Anyways, go
I
ahead.
cringe.
Hocus Pocus.
I cringe when it happens every time.
That's a wizard. We're talking about witches.
Well, I mean, it's kind of close.
Yeah.
Gandalf.
He ain't got no witches in there with him.
different kind of magic.
Well, he does have one. Remember his bae. Lady Galadriel.
She's not a witch.
Oh, she's an elf.
She's not a witch.
Same thing.
It's really not though.
Witch with pointy ears.
Elf with pointy ears.
All
doesn't
elves
rhyme
have
a proof.
pointy ears. I'm just saying, it's a witch with pointy ears.
An elf is not a witch.
She doesn't rhyme a room.
No brooms.
It doesn't ride a Roomba.
No potion. Well,
I don't know, y'all.
there might be
Magic
some
is
elf
magic.
potions. I don't know.
No, she doesn't ride a Roomba.
So yeah, I thought there was enough good. Am I able to do this or
Please continue.
Yes,
I
go.
beg of
Other
you.
than that.
Oh,
Vroom, vroom.
I enjoyed it. That's all I need to say.
Okay,
Good God.
it was good.
Luis is not allowed to toot anymore because we can't handle
We
it.
derailed the whole podcast.
Just from one toot.
Just so everybody knows, Michelle is
The toot
Is
that
the
launched
toot
1,000
queen.
giggles.
Right.
Hey, everybody toots, okay?
everybody toots.
Trey is now the toot king, okay? It's
Yeah. Well.
not me anymore.
Oh,
Alright.
dude, Ollie, you guys need to come next to Ollie when she's.
She's the tootie booty.
Everybody
Okay, so here's the deal. The movie starts, and when they, I mean, I guess it's not right when it comes out, but when they pop out of the grave or pop out of the sky or whatever, the gals,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
and they start singing,
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, oh, nah, stop.
You were out.
Yeah. Well, okay, I didn't want to be out,
Right.
but they pulled me out of liking it pretty quickly.
I see.
I had to jump back in and be like, it's fine. It's going to be great.
Oh, see, I let that fly. I was like, whatever. But should we go with how it actually started first?
I mean, yeah, we get a solid like 20 minutes of
Kids.
young Sandersons,
Which I was
ladies.
surprised by. I didn't think they were going to do that.
Right.
They kind of tugged at my heartstrings there, man.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that part. I'm sorry.
I liked this part, actually. The kids, well, I liked it because the kids' acting was
The
spot
kids
on.
were doing a
They-
good job
They were great.
of impersonating the
Freaking Winifred Jr.
her little teeth.
Well, and her like little head
sass
motions and
and
oh
her
my,
hair.
she was perfect.
Yeah, they did wonderful. So that was like highly enjoyable for me to watch.
Also, the Reverend
Forky?
was Forky.
Dude,
Tony Hale.
Was that the guy who played freaking Mr. Peabody or Mr. Bean or whatever the heck his name
No.
is?
No.
I know who I'm talking
Forky.
about. Not Bean, the other guy.
It's Tony Hale.
His name is Tony Hale. He was in Arrested Development. He played Buster.
Oh,
was
he's
in
that
Bean?
guy.
Yeah. And he also is Forky in the Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
And Forky asked a question, as we all know.
I really appreciate that you have to say where Forky's from. Pretty sure everyone on this
Forky,
podcast
you know,
knows
Forky's
where
from
Forky.
Fork.
Forky asked a question.
From Fork, Seattle.
Forky.
Forks, Seattle. Forks, Washington.
They're right next to each other.
You know what he
dude.
means.
Come on.
Forks,
my God.
Seattle, spoons, sporks. They're all in the same
Forks,
spot.
you know.
Anyway,
I think we need to keep rolling.
the reverend was. He had me dying when the spider was on his hat, and he was like, "That's Satan's head."
But you know why though? That's like a biblical thing. Like spiders are devil stuff.
Oh, I didn't
Evil.
know that. I didn't know that. I was like, he is being dramatic.
Like
It was a big spider.
No,
okay?
no, I know.
was
I
being
actually
the right-
appreciate that he was that sassy. Like, get it, Rev.
maybe not like biblical in the sense that, but like spiders are meant to be like, you know, the quote unquote devils, like minions.
Right, dark creatures,
Dog creatures.
creepy crawlies.
Bring it out. Your hands and elbows look like a spider. Put them down.
Oh, you should crawl across the floor
Oh,
like
man.
that. Do it.
You
Well,
are a bony.
I'm all hooked up to all this
Come on.
equipment.
Nay.
Why are you gonna have him
Stop
crawl
it.
on the ground?
Stop it. You are in my house, and I command you to stop.
I'm about to record outside.
In the cold, homie.
Yeah, I know it's cold out
Keep
there.
pushing your luck.
Don't kick me out.
This ain't afraid of.
I am not afraid to kick you out.
So yes, we start in the olden days, 1653, I think is what it was, in Salem, and we see three like preteen Sanderson sisters.
They
and
hecka don't look like preteens. They
and
look like 12-year-olds.
they're
dude.
not. Isn't that
That's
preteen?
preteen.
That's preteen.
That's right
Oh,
before
well.
teen. Dog.
What do you think preteen is?
Teen is 13 plus.
No,
Preteen's
no, no,
10,
no.
11,
She
12.
turned 14, the homie.
Oh, you're right. She was turning 16.
That's what I
was turning
meant.
16.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say. They didn't look like that.
They didn't look like teenagers, huh?
Heck no, they look like 12-year-olds.
They definitely didn't look like the teenagers who show up
So I
later
guess-
in the movie.
But
You're
she's the oldest.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, yeah, they. No, they just. She didn't look like she was gonna turn 16. Was it 16 or 14 that she was turning?
I think it was 16
16.
because a witch gets her powers at 16. is what
Yeah.
they
yeah,
established.
no.
Just like Sabrina, the teenage
No,
witch.
for sure.
Yeah.
She did not look 16. I was like, this girl's 12, dude.
So yeah, they're in their house. They live by themselves, and
Yeah.
I really assumed, like, me and Michelle were both like, oh, they're witches already.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah, I
in
thought
there,
they
they're
were witches
making, like,
already.
blood pudding Jello stuff, and they're being creepy, and Mary's being Mary, and Sarah's being dumb, and
It's weird,
they're
I guess.
weird. They're
But
weird.
blood pudding is a thing. But
Sure, but it was gross. So they're being weird, right? And they continue to be weird in front of the townsfolk, and the townsfolk all crowd around outside of their door, and Winifred like opens the door, and the mayor is there, and they're like, are they accusing them of being witches quite yet? I don't think so, right?
No, they're saying she's like bad attitude and everything because she remembered like it starts with her pushing through all the townspeople
Yes.
and like
I'm Winnie.
being really mean and
Oh,
Yes.
they're looking like a Chuck E. Cheese employee.
Chuck E. Cheese employee. Wow. No. And
Miss Cheese herself.
she's supposed to be marrying a dude.
Right.
And is that
He
the
didn't look like
Reverend's?
that bad of a
the
young
Reverend
lad,
said
man.
that that's who she's gonna marry.
Was it the Reverend's son or the Reverend's?
It was John Pritchett. I don't think it was related to the Reverend because the Reverend is named Trask.
Oh yeah.
Well, apparently the Reverend chooses who you marry. In
I
this
guess
town.
so. Yeah.
Well, it's because he made a promise to her dying father.
Okay.
Oh.
Thanks for that detail, Lou.
I pay attention.
But she had already kissed Billy Bones.
Right.
Billy Butcher.
Billy Butcher.
Billy Bones.
In the graveyard. Her lover.
Which I love.
He's like, what?
I love the game of telephone that has turned him into her lover.
Right, yes.
That is fantastic.
Everyone in town knows that Billy Butcher is the lover of Winifred.
Yes, 500 years later, and it's still evolving.
Very funny. So yeah, we see.
It was one kiss in the graveyard.
We see a young John Pritchett or whatever, and they at a certain point the Reverend banishes the sisters from the town, or banishes Winifred from the town, and threatens to take the younger sisters away.
And then they
set
do
him
pull
right.
him out.
Right.
They do pull him out of the
They
house.
pull him out of the house, and then Winifred sets the spider on the Reverend. He starts losing his mind, and they are able to make their escape. And they run out into the Forbidden Woods and do their little what do they call it? Their little care circle or whatever.
A calming.
Calming
Calming
circle.
circle, yes. And because they're doing their calming circle out in the Forbidden Woods, which is actually a sacred place for witches, They call upon this OG witch. She's out there flying around as a bird, and she's very cool.
Yeah, she's cool.
I wish she would have come back because that was a cool idea.
Yeah,
I was thinking that she would
Oh,
back.
me and Ems love that actress.
Yeah.
What is her name?
She's a big character in Ted Lasso, and she's...
Ted Lasso. That's where I know that lady.
She was
from.
also in
She
Sex
is-
Education.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was one of
remember
the lesbian mothers of the swimmer.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Of the black kid.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
She was like the one that was all sports gun ho and
Yes,
stuff.
pushing him.
I remember that character, but I don't remember her particularly.
Her
but-
name is Hannah Waddingham.
Man, they make that woman look good.
Yeah,
Her
she's
stuff.
very
Mother
pretty.
Witch. Yes.
Which it's
Very
cool
pretty
because
gal.
she's actually a really good singer. So in that part where she's singing, like I find that cool that she
Right.
sang the original "Come Little Children."
I'll take thee away.
What the- Ew.
I love that song.
Yeah,
I should start singing that as a lullaby.
The child eating song is the lullaby you want to
Trey
sing to our
doesn't
song?
know. He don't know.
But
Trey.
you know, homie.
Yeah, lull him into a sense of security now, so that when some creeper comes on the street later, and he's like, "Oh,
Probably sing that song.
that's so nice."
Follow this voice. And he gets eaten. It's all your fault. Witchy woman.
I know, man.
This escalated quickly.
So the mother
Wait, you
witch.
They're
the
tech-
witchy woman, homie. So what the?
Dude, they're
You too.
technically on a witch hunt for you today. You got snapped. You got a new wife.
Nah.
You did voodoo.
Ugh.
That voodoo that you do.
Nope.
So the mother
Who
witch,
don't?
this lady,
Voodoo.
she introduced herself to the Sanderson sisters. She shows them her book, and she is about to eat them because they're children as well. But then she realizes that Winifred has some witchiness in her. And she kind of takes them under her wing for a hot sec. Explains that the Forbidden Forest is cool for witches out here. It's where they're strongest, and they can become witches right now too if they want.
Hold on, pause it up. Pause it up.
Yes.
I didn't realize until this movie that Winifred's really the only witch. The other two are squibs.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the way that witches work here is that
Like a coven
when
of-
you're in a coven, you can kind of share witchy powers. Yes, so Winifred is the actual witch. That's why Sarah and Mary worship her basically. Although they did that before,
Yeah.
regardless, right?
Because she's the oldest. Yeah.
She's the oldest.
I just, in the other movie, in my mind, I just never even thought,
Yeah.
oh, she's
Yeah.
the one with the powers. Everything just kind
Yeah,
of,
they can fly and stuff, but that's probably
Right.
because Winifred is
bewitching
enchanting
stuff.
their.
Exactly. Like Winifred is the only one doing the zapping, and she leads the spell casting.
Book is hers.
She changes Thackeray Binks into a cat. You know, it's all through her that the magic flows, which is interesting.
Am I incorrect in saying that? I mean, I'm not. I mean, nobody's a witchotomist here or anything like that, but you don't necessarily have to be of magic to be part of a Wiccan.
Coven.
To be part of the coven, correct?
Coven, Wiccan, what's the difference?
Wiccan's a separate thing.
Yeah, Wiccan.
It's a different witchy thing.
correct.
Anyways, long story short,
I'm sure Luis does not want to know.
what was I trying to get at with?
Yeah, I don't think you have to be. You don't have to be born of magic to become a witch, especially if you're leaning on someone who actually does have the inherent witchy powers.
Well, and I think that's in general of this kind of witchery.
the Salem.
The
witches
Salem. I mean, they
type
were
of
just
thing.
like women are witches. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Luis and I love to use that. You know,
that women are witches.
I'm really good at science. Witch!
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a witch right there.
I know how to read. Witch!
I know how to do pull a rabbit out of a hat. Witch.
Yeah, that lady's in there with her cats and she's reading. She's a witch.
She's right.
We got it from Family Guy, where like there was a girl doing math at like the schoolhouse, and then the teacher was like all hella calmly, oh, okay, well there's only one explanation for this. Witch!
Yeah, it's definitely that kind of story, right? Where the females are being prosecuted for their just being different, I guess. You okay? Yeah. Okay.
Just making sure our forums are.
So anyway, the Mother Witch lady bequeaths the book to Winifred and her sisters, and they end up spending, the rest of their lives trying to take over Salem for what they suffered on this day. And specifically, they want to get revenge on Reverend Trask and his bloodline.
But it's interesting because you don't know that until this movie.
Right, yeah.
Which I guess
that's
it's
some
okay.
retconning,
You could look through it, but maybe they just had...
No. Saw him on the billboard.
And that's not in... The purpose of the first movie was to
just be alive, huh?
to live, yeah.
Right.
So they had to find the kids and they had to suck their souls.
Yeah. Maybe that's that.
But then now they're like, let's do it. They say something like that, like we need to find some kids. But then they see him on the billboard and they're like, oh heck no!
Right, we got to take this out.
So now they have two objectives in the same 12-hour period:
live forever, get revenge. Right. Whereas, the first movie was just live forever, and then get revenge would come later, presumably.
You gotta live before you can revenge.
Right,
Revenge. Before you can revenge her.
Revenge.
Revenge. They're witchy pirates now. Or piratey witches.
Witches on the seven seas. So they do that, right? And then we cut to present day, and we meet Becca and her friend, whose name is...
I don't know the friend's name, but she's my favorite.
Yeah, I like these new characters. So Becca is there, and then Izzy is her best friend.
Izzy.
And then they have a third best friend named Cassie, but Cassie got a boyfriend a couple months ago, so they are kind of on the outs with Cassie right now, because, she's devoted her life to this boy, who is an idiot. and he makes fun of them, so they think.
I had a little bit of a problem with that because it took me too long to figure out if Cassie was like a bad friend or not.
Right.
Like at first I felt like...
You obviously don't spend a lot of time with teenagers. I instantly knew, it's because she has a boyfriend.
I did too.
Oh yeah, no, I was like, is she a bad person? Like, was she mean to them?
Right. What did she do?
Yeah.
To not get invited to the birthday ritual?
Right? Like, I thought, what? Was she mean? Did they call her a mean name? Did she say her butt looked fat in those jeans? Like, what happened? Luis.
I'm with Luis. I immediately was like, oh, she got a boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was...
And it's like the classic, you got a boyfriend, you got a girlfriend, you're not hanging out with us anymore,
right.
We don't love you.
We were a trio. It was Harry, Ron, and Hermione. And
now we're a Mio.
And now, Hermione, you're out there trying to date Victor Crumb.
How dare you?
I don't think so. We're done with you. That's how it goes down.
Never meet your heroes. Because then they'll take your lady.
I'm done. Take your lady.
That's the basic premise. And also, Cassie, the ousted friend, is the daughter of the mayor, Mayor Trask, who happens to be a descendant of Reverend Trask, and is played by Tony Hale as well.
I feel like that guy's last name is like somebody who'd be a S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra person.
Dude, I think Trask is the name of a bad guy in Marvel. I can't remember which guy.
Is it the guy with the glasses?
I think it might be an X-Men. I think.
No, Trask sounds like the guy with glasses. The one who was being I don't know who was it. I think it was like in Civil War, the one that was being thrown over and then would get picked up again.
Oh, that dude. Yes,
that's Trask. No,
maybe.
Anyway,
regardless,
they kind of have the same face,
bad guy name or whatever. But the mayor is just
bad guy, squinty eyes.
The mayor is just this happy-go-lucky dude, and
he's so stupid
nice.
funny.
He's very excited
caramel apple,
to get a caramel apple from this lady who was it like Candy's Magic Apples or something like that.
It reminds me of the cupcake lady.
Yes, exactly. And
so where we live,
got famous. She went on Good Morning America, but I convinced her to come back, and now I'm gonna get my caramel apple. I was like, all right, dude, go for it.
Where we live, we have a lady who has a taco truck, but with cupcakes. And so it's
Food truck, homie.
A food truck.
okay, but it's
A taco truck.
to other people not okay.
No, that's just like what it's known as.
Oh, so people don't know what taco trucks are?
The cupcake.
Not everybody actually.
Oh.
Because down south, apparently, there's really not as many taco trucks as there are up here.
Right.
What?
It's taco shops. You go and sit.
A taqueria.
Okay. Well, we have taquerias on wheels.
We're on the wheels.
Yeah. It's taqueria on wheels, but they sell cupcakes.
Anywho, so this is Apple Lady.
Yes, this Apple lady.
Boo Boo is
She's
apples.
a confectionist.
Yeah, the mayor is so excited to get his hands on one of these caramel apples. So the girls are going through their day. It's Halloween. It is Becca's birthday. They're into witchy stuff in general. Their Halloween tradition is to go watch scary movies at their house and light a candle. And
They light candles in the woods.
yes, and
Then they go watch movies.
and then they go watch scary movies. That's their thing that they do every year.
And they have, crystals. Ooh.
Yeah, they got they're into the witchy stuff. They're Wiccans.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. The Wiccans are the pagan, earthy religion people.
Exactly. So she's using, good luck charms and stuff like that. As the movie goes on, they go and visit the Sandersons' cabin that is now a gift shop or whatever, and their friend, what's his name? Is it Gary or something like that?
Gary?
I didn't make that connection. So the house is the gift shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it was in the first movie as well. But I don't...
But it was like a museum, but it wasn't open anymore.
Right. Yes. And now it has since been open.
I guess in my mind it's hard because at least in the first movie it seemed like it was out in the middle of the forest.
Right, because he had to climb the water wheel or whatever to get in there. Yeah, and
It's fine. Maybe
guess-
I'm sure the town got more developed.
Yes, the town got bigger and they
Or they
more
picked it up
tourism
and
now
moved it in.
since the 90s.
Right.
Let's see here. How come I can't find this one dude's name?
He looks very familiar.
The guy Gilbert. He runs the gift shop and he is known around town as Gilbert the Great. He does little magic tricks and stuff like that.
He is not known as Gilbert the Great. He calls himself Gilbert the Great, okay?
And
Don't give him that much.
and he's friends with Becca and all three of these girls, because they come into the shop all the time because they're into
And
witch
buy
stuff.
his fancy rocks.
And they buy his crap.
and weeds and
Bleep.
What?
little weeds and packages.
Oh, his little leaves and stuff. Yes.
Little weeds and packages.
So since it's Becca's birthday, he knows them. He gives Becca a birthday gift. It's a candle. And he does this whole spiel about the black flame candle, which had gotten melted in the previous movie or something like that. But he gives Becca this candle. And he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be perfect for your ritual. Go out there and have a good birthday or whatever." So,
And Luis is like, why you giving her such an ugly candle? Because it's literally like,
it was nasty.
it was not a good looking candle.
Yeah,
it was
it
a
was
pillar of sadness, honestly.
It was sad and phallic. So they go out to the woods. They light the candle. Right, they're doing their little ceremony. It's just Becca and her friend Izzy or whatever, Lizzie, something like that. And they
Gleazy?
Ew.
I think it was his.
hot dogs. Yes.
It's Izzy.
Man, I can go for a glizzy right now.
Becca and Izzy are out there. They're lighting the candle, and it's a trick candle. It's like a sparkler, and they're like, "Oh, why would Gilbert do it?"
I was like, that's dangerous, put a sparkler in
Yeah,
there.
dude, when that sucker turned into the black flame, I was like, oh, mom.
It turns into the black flame candle.
I'm just thinking about California wildfires, okay? I know they're not in California, but
Nah,
like,
dude, it's humid
sparks
over there.
like that?
It's not catching fire. It's
wet.
It's hella moist
In
over there. So.
Massachusetts?
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry. I'm just telling
No,
you
I'm
what
messing
it
around,
made me
probably.
think about.
Yeah.
We can't have those in our forests.
Smokey would have some words for these ladies. Smokey the Bear, he'd be like, "I don't think so, ladies."
Smokey would be that meme of that South Asian person in his vest, just with his hands on his hips, like hella mad. You know the meme I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're
That'd
right,
be
you're
Smokey right there.
Tear rolling down his cheek. So anyway, they're lighting this candle. It turns into the black flame candle. We figure these girls must be virgins. So the ground splits and the witches come back to life.
And that was one of Gilbert's things, like, well, I would do it, but
but
Oh no, he says that later.
he does
Never
that
mind.
later. Before he's telling the story of the black flame candle to like a bunch of local kids, and one of them's like, "What's a virgin?" And he's like, "It's someone who has never lit a candle." So moving on. I thought it was a very funny joke. That was good. So yeah, the
Technically, I suppose.
the witches come back. They're about to eat these girls. They convince the witches that they are 40 and try to take them back to get
To Walgreens.
To Walgreens. So
But
That's
The
where they do the
apothecary.
song.
yes,
Okay.
the song happens here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So when they first come out and they start singing, I was like, oh, well, I guess if you're going to put Bette Midler in a movie, you got to have her sing and dance a
For
little bit.
sure.
And they probably aren't going to do a I Put a Spell on You
Right.
scene again. So we're doing it here. And I was fine with it at that point. But then we did do a...
But it was bad, though. Like, we could have not done it.
Yeah, we didn't need
Like,
that.
you didn't... I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I was all up into it until here.
So let me say that, and I didn't really super care for this scene either, but this movie was directed by a woman named Anne Fletcher, and Anne Fletcher has a bunch of different types of credits.
Did you know that she did Hairspray?
Yes, so she's directed, she's acted, but most of all, she's been a choreographer.
Okay.
So she was a choreographer.
She was on Thriller.
On Hairspray, Step Up to the Streets.
The heck is Step Up?
It was one of those dance movies
With,
with Channing Tatum.
yeah.
No,
Yes.
It's not Magic
Oh,
Mike.
no, I'm
Lou.
thinking about Save the Last Dance.
Right.
Now, that was a movie, though.
That was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
But anyway, she's been a choreographer on a bunch of different types of movies. So I'm thinking that she's just like, let's put a dance scene in here, baby, and and do that as much as she possibly could.
Let's make these old ladies dance.
Ladies dance. Let's get these ladies moving. So yeah,
Like jazzercise.
yeah. Let's see, what else did she direct? She directed The Proposal and a couple episodes of This Is Us and this movie and Step Up, High Water, whatever. But I think that's the justification for why there's extra musical scenes in this movie, is because the choreographer got behind the director's chair.
Which honestly, I don't dislike extra singing scenes. I just felt like this particular moment was not the time.
Right. For
Like-
then we're back, Salem. Hi, baby.
Yeah, like didn't need to be right here.
Right.
But anywho,
Yeah, I think I agree.
that's a neither here nor there moment. It happened. I don't like it.
They take them to
don't like
Walgreens,
it.
and this
Take him to Walk.
take them to Walgreens.
This was funny.
Freaking
And-
hilarious.
And this is where the hilarity begins in this movie, right? Like I assumed that a movie taking place 30 years later with some already time displaced witches, that they would just have a little bit more time displacement happening. And this is exactly it. Like, oh, the lights are fluorescent. I look terrible in this light. And then
they never took him into those type of stores, huh?
No.
No.
Because back then, they didn't have it back then, did they?
I mean, maybe
was it,
they
92?
did. It was 93.
93.
So maybe they
did.
did, but not enough for them to put it in the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
They didn't have what? Stories?
No, like the ability to open up a...
Right, they go through like a sliding glass door, and they're like, oh, this witch
Yeah.
must be powerful or whatever. They
You
go
guys.
to the beauty section, and they're putting
I'm
on.
pretty sure they
They had
had
Walgreens.
grocery stores and
Girl, we
Michaela-
know that. We're saying that like the ability to self-automate entrances.
Yeah, like the most technological thing that they saw in the first movie was that bus.
the bus. Yeah.
You know? So yeah, they go through a couple of different fun new experiences here. Including,
Did you watch Sarah Jessica Parker like jump through the door? That was my favorite
Yeah,
part.
that was
Like
funny.
instead of just walking through, she like jumps in her little feet. That was very funny. I made Luis watch it twice.
I was dying laughing when they started eating the beauty product.
Kathy Najimmy's like, no, the face. She was eating the face. Look at child's face. I was like, what the?
Face mask.
The teens are like, oh, they sell potions in stores now. They call them lotions. So they go to the lotion aisle, and they're just like, this smells like raspberries. And they're eating the face mask. It was funny.
It was disgusting. I was like, she is eating a face.
Yeah, the idea behind that was not very appealing.
No.
But But it's Halloween, so they keep getting approached by other girls dressed in Sanderson sisters outfits, and they want to take selfies with them and stuff like that. So they get to see cell phones and all of this fun stuff. All pretty funny and enjoyable. As they leave the store, they realize they have to fly on brooms to go get the book.
Oh, this killed me, man. I was done.
Winifred obviously gets the broom, right? It's a regular witch broom. Sarah gets a Swiffer duster, and then
Which is the equivalent to the broom.
and then Mary.
Oh no, but it's the equivalent to the mop.
Yes.
Because it's now a wet mop, right?
Correct. And then Mary, who was on the vacuum last time, gets to be on 2 Roombas.
I didn't even put together that it was the same product.
Yeah, it's the same
They were
product,
on
just
last
like the
time.
fancier
That's
product.
hilarious.
Yes. I think I said while we were watching, I'm like, I guess in this world, witches can only fly on cleaning products. That's the only thing they can cause to fly. But it's so funny.
Try to go out on PVC pipe.
Yeah.
Try.
It's so funny watching Kathy and Jimmy freaking float on these on the Roombas, the light up Roombas, and the fact that they come back as like a plot device later is
Good.
very good.
Very
Dude,
good.
I couldn't. Poor girl looked like she was gonna splitty split.
So yeah,
It was good
They
stuff.
fly through the night on the Roombas. They go to get the book, which has woken up in Gilbert's shop. And this is where it's revealed that Gilbert was the one who gave them the black flame candle on purpose because he wanted to wake the Sanderson sisters because he is one of their biggest fans.
I was like, what is wrong with you, bro?
Gilbert, what is happening here, sir? Don't you realize these ladies eat children?
They needed him.
But
He ain't caring.
apparently Gilbert had an experience back in 1993 where he was one of the kids walking out on Halloween that night, and he saw the Sanderson sisters fly over, so he knew that it was possible to bring them back to life.
Yeah.
And when he took over the shop, he got involved with the book. The book he knew was alive and stuff like that, so he knew that they were real. So he orchestrated this whole scheme to bring them back. And so the Sanderson sisters, when they meet Gilbert, they enlist his help at the threat of death to help them get all of these ingredients together so that they can make this magical Maxima potion to make them all-powerful witches. Right? Let's see here. Where do they go from here? They send Gilbert out on his mission to go get the head of a lover who happens to be Billy Butcherson, as we say, and he goes to dig up Billy, and
Poor Billy.
and I think the sequence where they become bros is really funny because he wakes up Billy and he's like, "Hey, he tries to trick Billy and says like, "Hey, well, I'm actually trying to kill the Sanderson sisters, so come with
Hilarious.
me and help me find all these ingredients so that we can kill them." And they
Well, and
go
the
to
best part is
fair.
he wasn't asleep, or he wasn't quote unquote dead because they never put him back to bed.
Right, they just buried him.
So he's been chilling for 30 years.
Chilling under the earth or whatever, and not even 6 feet under.
Seriously.
So Billy and
Poor Billy.
they get a spider from the fair. They're playing games and they're collecting rat tails and whatever else the other ingredients
Ugh.
were. For this,
Yeah, they got to go to the fair, which was pretty fun.
it's funny. Meanwhile, the teen characters Becca and Izzy, they have to go warn Cassie that the Sanderson sisters are after her dad. So they
Because
try,
he's the Reverend.
Because he's the descendant of the Reverend. So they try to FaceTime her, but they have been trapped in the dungeon of the Sanderson cabin or whatever. So Becca has to use some of her innate magical abilities to break the curse to get them out. And so they go on. They pull out some magic leaves, and she uses some witchy powers, and they end up getting out of there. I think they call over. Oh, that's right. Becca snitches on Cassie because Cassie's having a party while her dad, the mayor, is hosting this event in town. They snitch on her to get the mayor to go back to the house and keep him out of danger.
While he's waiting in line for his apple.
Candy apple. And he gets the call, and it's so funny. He gets the call like, "What? Cassie's having a party? She's not supposed to do that." And then he's like, my apple. can you guys hold my place in line? And he leaves. He goes, busts up the party. He comes back, and the people who are holding his place in line, they already got their apples. And the line is even longer than it was before. It's so
Tragic.
sad. It's so tragic. I was really sad that this man wasn't getting his apple, honestly. Because he was a nice guy.
That's invested.
He was quite invested in getting that apple, and I was invested in him receiving it, and I was disappointed by the end.
And it was true. It was like truly being forlorn.
Right?
It's like going to Disneyland and expecting to get the, I don't know,
It's a churro, man.
just the churro, and then they sell out as you
Yeah.
get there.
Oof, when you're the last person
Yeah.
in line.
Ay,
That type
caramba.
of statement in Disneyland, them
was
selling out.
I know.
I know.
It's hilarious.
Ha.
Anyway, the Sanderson sisters are making their way to try to find this mayor, right? So they go to this fair that he's at, and they use their witchy powers to cast a spell on the crowd. It also happens to be a Sanderson sister costume party, so there are
That was ridiculous.
there are a bunch of other people dressed up as
drag
them.
queens?
There's drag queens there. There's some like hot girls, and then there's like a couple of guys, like not drag queens, but just like men. And then they end up losing the
Look-alike contest.
the lookalike contest, and they're highly offended by this. So they hop on stage, they start hypnotizing everybody, and they sing. What song is it that they sing? It was a good one.
Ooh, bop, cheepity, boop, boop, doo. Bop,
No, they didn't. The Hansons.
Bop.
No, but it was a good one.
It was a good song.
No, I can't remember what it was.
Of course, I can't remember. Hang on, let me see.
Telling you, it was a bop, bop.
One way or another, I'm gonna find ya. I'm gonna get ya.
one way. And what a good song
Yeah, it was
to
good.
choreograph to.
Right.
I'm gonna get
Good
ya.
job, Aunt
I'm
Fletcher.
get ya. And here's the deal. Apparently, when they were filming this scene, they were also celebrating Bette Midler's 76th birthday.
Holy moly, she's 76?
She's 77 now, baby.
Oh, wow, hey, good.
Well, I guess they were shooting in December, so she almost about to be 77.
Okay, Bet. Good on you, Bet.
Like she's
Bet,
working
bet.
it. Bet.
Bet.
Bet you're 70, bet.
Hey, always bet on Bet. Bet.
Bet.
Oh my gosh, she was born in 1945
Bet.
in
There you go.
Hawaii, of all places.
We're good. Aloha, Bet.
Aloha, Bet. So yeah, and once again, all three of the Sanderson sisters are doing quite a good job reprising their roles in this movie. I think I mean, it's like the characters never left really. The only thing that really seemed different was Sarah Jessica Parker's eyebrows. Those seemed to be
sure.
quite thicker than I remember in the first movie. But
And more eye makeup on the whole. The eyeshadow was intense.
eyeshadow was heavy, you know. That's what happens when you're dead for 30 years. It
cakes.
Yeah, it
Couldn't see her,
cakes
man.
on.
Like she was slowly evolving into a little raccoonie.
Go ahead.
No, never mind. Go for it.
There's another cool part about this. You see in the original there was the mom. Max's
Max's
mom
mom.
and dad were at the party that they bewitched, right?
Yes.
And she was wearing like a Madonna outfit, like with the blonde hair and like the bustier of sadness, scariness. And in this dance scene, you see another person who's in a much toned down, much more 2022 version of mom.
Oh,
So like she's
interesting.
wearing like a bustier type top over mesh.
I didn't even like, even if I saw that, I didn't.
You wouldn't have made the
That's
connection.
Madonna, no.
No, because the things are not as big and pointy.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So it's like it's the toned down 2022
So
version.
There is a toned down Madonna, is what you're saying.
In the scene, yes.
In the scene.
In one of them.
In this movie, yes.
And then there's also in the first movie, well, there's two reference. Okay, blah, blah, blah.
The Madonna like a virgin.
Well, it's not from that song,
Light the
but
candle for the very first time. Like
Uh,
a virgin.
he understood the assignment.
Thank you.
I get it.
all right. so the beginning of the movie, first movie, Winnie goes into the house of the devil, and the devil is with his wife, and the wife has like her curlers in her hair, and she's just trying to live life, like get out of here,
pass out her candy and go to bed.
Right. And there's 2 instances of where they reference that specific scene in this movie. So the first one is when they drop in and they're walking by. Remember, there was like 2 dudes sitting on a couch and they're watching it.
Oh, right.
They're watching Hocus Pocus, which is funny.
I feel like those guys were also important somehow. I can't remember how.
The guys who were watching the movie.
Maybe. I don't know. But the second one that's important is during that same dance scene, there is one of the guys is dressed up as the devil, and there's a gal in hair rollers next to him sitting.
So it's actually the couple that the mayor asked to save his spot in line for the candy apple, and they're wearing the devil outfit and the curlers outfit.
Yes,
which is cool. I did notice that. I recognize that.
It's like a Waldo book, man.
Right? Yeah. Where's the cameo?
Where's the Easter egg?
I love Easter eggs. It's just my favorite.
So during this dance scene, they managed to hypnotize this entire crowd and have the crowd head out into town to find the mayor or whatever. And at some point, I think the sisters make their way to the mayor's house, where Cassie's cleaning up for her party. And they make their way into like the garage, and Becca and Izzy trap them in the garage with a ring of salt. Yes. Which is like it obviously worked in the first movie. It was like the salt, it was a protective barrier, but in this movie it makes it seem like the salt is even more powerful protection wise because of Becca's innate witchy.
Nah, it's because they got the Morton salt.
They got that Morton salt, that's right. The most powerful salt of all. Man, I wish I was getting a part of that money, some of that Morton salt money. Dang. I gotta buy some stock. Anyway.
I'm a Morton. Give it to me for free.
You see my last name? Look at my ID. So they trapped them in there. The mayor comes home all defeated. He's like, I didn't get my candy apple. I had to go to Walgreens. The lights were off at Walgreens.
And my kid threw a party.
And you threw a party. You're not supposed to throw a party. So I'm going to bed. And he goes inside, and it's at this point where the Roombas come back into play. And the Roombas have been like following Mary on the ground, and they finally catch up to her, and they go and they eat up the salt.
Oh man, that's a long time.
I know.
I think my favorite part is that your arms are doing the motion of the Roomba. It's like
Roomba sounds.
They clean up that salt, and the ladies can get out.
They are able to get free. So they hook back up with Gilbert and Billy.
Feed that baby.
And the boyfriend.
Yes.
He constantly is like running after her. It's very funny.
Mike, the boyfriend.
He was very annoying.
He was very annoying in the beginning.
He did not serve. Well, actually, I guess he does serve a purpose, but like he literally was a useless character.
He started getting funny as he was explaining that he didn't think he was being mean to these girls. I thought I was just making conversation. It was funny. So the witches meet up with Billy and Gilbert, who have collected all the ingredients to make this maximum magic potion or whatever. The witches have to say the incantation 7 times in order for the spell to work. So they start incanting. They start incanting. They throw Gilbert into the trees or whatever. I assumed that he was dead, but I guess I guess not.
Like legitimately like a.
Dude, they chucked him.
They chucked him. They was like, whoop.
They were like, should we get him? They're like, no.
Nah, leave him alone.
They did a WandaVision throw.
Yeah, exactly. So Becca and Izzy arrive, and they are determined to stop the sisters from completing their spell. How do they do that? I don't remember exactly.
Witchika.
Yes, they
They convince the book.
they convince.
No, not yet.
Oh, well, yes, they meet up with their friend Cassie to complete their coven, right? And Cassie's part of the gang again. They go to the Forbidden Forest where Gilbert has assembled the ingredients, and they soon discover that Becca is also a witch. So they finally make their realization that old Glowy Hands has been a witch this whole time.
Did we forget Cassie got kidnapped?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so did they go to rescue her?
Yeah, they went to rescue her.
I think that was part of them doing their Magica Maximoff.
Yes, I think you're right. Let's see here.
No, I think the way that they had them stop is they somehow like attacked them, and then they ran out. Two of them ran off with what's it called?
The book.
Billy.
One of them ran off with the girl, and then the main one stayed there because she was showing some powers.
Right.
She was showing her powers.
Was I watching this like half asleep? Because I remember this, but I also feel like you're speaking in code.
No, I don't remember.
I think all of this kind of happens like before the garage scene with the salt. And then by the time that
no, I think that's like how it like in that kind of ending scene.
Oh yes, you're right.
But
it says right here.
The one thing that we like glossed over was that
like they're by the bus, okay, right. And then out of nowhere that girl just gets swooped, and she's gone.
Oh yeah, because I think
then,
old Swiffer jet flies by and swoops them up.
And then they're all like, "Oh, what do you do? This, and that." And then like they end up going into the forest. They're doing their thing. It was like a couple more times, and the two girls come over. And then some. Right before they come over, though, the two that are left realize that the main gal, I don't know what the heck her name is. Winnie?
Mm-hmm.
No, Becca.
Becca is having witchy powers.
Yes.
And then I don't know if like she uses the witchy powers on them, and that's when like they stop.
No, hold on.
At this point, the sisters are incanting.
Hold on, we need to back up. Like
yes.
boop boop boop. Beginning of the movie when Ted Lasso Rebecca comes in and she's telling them like, "Here's book." She tells them, "Do anything you want with this book, but do not do this one spell."
Don't do the Magica Maxima.
Yeah, book does not want you to do this spell. Right. So, anywho, the whole time we've known we're not supposed to do this one thing, right. And then this is the thing that the sisters are trying to do at this time.
Correct.
So book tried to stop them like 4 or 5 times.
Right, but they were like, the book has opinions. But the Winifred forces the book to do as she says, and they cast this spell. So it's starting to work. The sisters partially cast the spell and increase their power, but Becca is able to distract them while Izzy rescues their friend Cassie. Becca manages to convince the book that it does not have to answer to Winifred, and right. Becca and the book flee further into the forest. Book shows them the warning about the Magica Maxima, saying that whoever casts it must give up what they cherish most. So the sisters finish the spell, right? And as they finish it, Sarah and Mary are like, "Oh, pew 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 pew!" Yeah,
I won't even laugh.
It's so powerful now. Well, pow pow pow.
I thought I was gonna die.
It was very funny.
Shooting a little laser.
They're shooting at the ground and stuff like that. So silly. But even though they're all mega powerful now,
machine gun magic.
Yeah, even though they're mega powerful now, Sarah and Mary start to disappear. They just start like getting Thanos dusted.
They're doing their 90s sparkle disappearance.
Right, yes, before their very eyes. So Winifred is able to become all-powerful, but Mary and Sarah fade to dust. Winifred grows despondent and begs the teenagers to use their newfound powers to save her sisters, because the thing that she valued most was her sisters, and so the Magica Maxima warning stole them from
Should have had Trask do it, and then the caramel apple lady would have disappeared.
Oh no. Not his daughter, just a magical caramel apple lady.
You know, priorities. Bye, kid.
So
it's me and the apples.
While they cannot save the other two witches, Becca, Cassie, and Izzy join together in a coven of their own, and cast a reuniting spell, and Winifred happily fades away to be reunited with her sisters. So she kind of fades into dust herself, and the Sanderson sisters are gone once again. The girls are joined by Gilbert and Billy, who are both still alive somehow. But then Billy starts to fade away himself because his curse has finally been lifted as well, since Winifred is now gone.
Thank God for Billy.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Gilbert.
Yes.
Gilbert is like, I'm so sorry. I will tell your story correctly moving forward.
You were not Winifred's lover.
You know,
You only had one kiss one time.
we will unsully your name,
We'll tell the truth about Billy Butcher.
Billy Bones.
The girls decide to give Book a new home and continue practicing magic as they walk off into the night, and they go,
Yeah.
in their little swish swash.
They do.
Way.
The other gals do the swish wash in the Walgreens.
Yes, which is very funny. I like it when they do the swish.
Yeah.
Let's see here. As they leave, a crow identical to the one that the mother witch had shifted into flies overhead. So I think she's still around, the mother witch. And she's just in bird form all the time. She likes being a bird.
I mean, Bird's cool.
Birds are cool. Who can blame her? You know.
I kind of wanted to like actually see her, but you know what? I will allow the crow to happen. I have flashbacks to the Phoenix and Mulan.
Oh my god.
It wasn't as bad as that.
No, because it was only once.
Right.
But like,
She's an Aarakocra.
An Aarakocra?
Yeah, that's what you are.
A
right?
bird person?
Aarakocra.
I'm a bird wizard. She's a bird witch. We're different.
you could get married when Michelle snaps.
Oh, that's my new wife.
I mean, that's definitely a wife for sure.
I thought he was gonna say that's an upgrade, and I was going to punch him. He's like, I was like, if he says upgrade, he's gonna get punched.
I was not gonna say.
So I believe there is a post-credit scene as well where we cut back into the Sandersons' cabin, and we see the black cat that's in there, who apparently isn't Thackeray Binks. And he's messing.
Snowball.
The cat is messing around with some stuff and a box.
No, Cobweb.
I was like, Snowball.
Cobweb was his cat's name. And Cobweb hops on top of a box, and the box says "Black Flame Candle number 2." So I guess it was just another Black Flame Candle.
Because Gilbert just wasn't good. One wasn't enough.
One wasn't enough. He got to make a backup just in case. So
Well, I mean, teens nowadays are, probably not getting, sex ed over there, and then gives it to a potential one. Is like, oops, nope, sorry.
right.
It's not a virgin.
Oh,
Just in case they gave it to the wrong teens,
Becca.
Becca, Izzy. Anyway, and that's the end of the movie. Hocus Pocus 2. What do you do? Shabba-daboo. Let's see here. So this was a Disney Plus original, so it didn't release in theaters, didn't have any money attributed to it.
Go ahead.
Anywho, this movie didn't have any money information. Do I have a budget? It says the budget was $40 million. So not too bad. And I
Mostly to bet.
Yeah, right. I thought that the special effects didn't look bad, right? They looked pretty good throughout the movie for what it was. On Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a score of 63%, which is still fresh, not rotten.
Can I tell you a funny though, real fast?
Yes.
So I talked to some high schoolers a couple days ago, and I mean, these are kids who weren't obviously not
born in 1993.
Well, Luis was saying that some kids like weren't even born
in 2000.
Yeah, like they're born like
all this high school generation.
Because I was born in 93.
Well, yeah, of course, we were barely born then.
Right.
But long story short is, I heard someone say, I mean, the first one was okay. This one was pretty good. So it was. I think it depends on who's watching it and when they watched it.
Yeah.
Because for us, we watched it for years growing up.
Correct.
And so in the 90s, in the early 2000s, those special effects, I don't think anyone was like, ooh, they were good. But for the time period, it was acceptable.
Yes.
and that acceptability becomes that culty type thing.
Yes.
And so when you really look at the movie from like a basic standpoint, it's not, maybe unpopular opinion, it's not
mind-blowing.
It's not mind-blowing, and it's not quite as like spectacular as much as we like it.
Sure.
Right?
It's a fun Halloween story that you can watch over and over again.
So in that way, this one is also a fun Halloween movie that you could probably watch over and over again.
Right.
And quality-wise, I thought it was pretty good quality. But it's interesting because those people that I was listening to were like the opposite, right? Because they didn't have any nostalgia around it, so they were like, eh.
Yeah, the first one was...
It was okay.
Well,
yeah.
and that's the thing about these movies is sometimes then they become like a cult following. You know, like, to me, like, Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town were like the cult Halloween Disney movies, you know? But, like, if this generation didn't grow up with it, yes, this is a revival, but is it a revival that they're like, yeah, whatever? You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, I mean, it's just a Disney Plus movie, but still.
Right, but I mean...
Well, it's like the same thing with, like, A Star is Born, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one? The 7th?
Well, let me tell you about how I didn't watch it because I didn't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, unnecessary. Even though some people would definitely say that it's like, you know, one of the greatest movies of their time, or whatever. Yeah, I think the same can be said for a movie like this. So the Rotten Tomatoes critics consensus says Hocus Pocus 2 is basically a boiling cauldron of nostalgia, but that's just enough for this belated sequel to cast a reasonably effective spell.
All right.
The audience consensus says Hocus Pocus 2 has its moments, but for fans who've waited years for a sequel to the original, this is mostly a disappointment. Oh, that's interesting.
Can I tell you something, though?
Yes.
Again, unpopular opinion. I love Disney. I love everything that we see that they come out with, but our generation, really, our millennial generation is the worst because we are like unhappy about everything.
In the 90s, it's worthless.
We hate everything.
And we'll remake everything from the 90s because it's what we remember.
And then we'll be mad we remade it.
And then we'll be horribly unhappy that it got
And we're also
remade.
horribly unhappy if you made it into a live action. Don't do that.
Right. Exactly. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what.
And that's the thing is, I can agree, but I'm not going to go trolling on the internet and literally get up in arms.
Right.
I am not going to like stake my sanity on being mad about this.
I don't need to be mad about Hocus Pocus 2.
No.
We can be a little bit mad about Mulan, but not.
Y'all, us millennials don't own our own home to be able to do house things across.
Right.
House chores, so we gotta do something with our time.
Yeah, we can't throw stones in this glass house. We ain't paying no mortgage.
And we ain't got no money to fix it.
Got no schmoon.
Exactly. So yeah, I think overall I understand where these reviews are coming from, but I think I did enjoy this movie more than the 63% or 51% audience score.
Me too.
I think I'm gonna give this movie like a 7 or a 7.5. I mean, it was enjoyable. I was laughing almost the whole time. I had a good time. I liked seeing the reprisal of these characters from Bette Midler and Kathy and Jimmy and Sarah Jessica Parker. And I liked watching the mayor try to get that candy apple. It was fun. So I'm gonna say 7.5.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like a 7.
Yeah.
7.5. Like, it was still good. You know, like, I liked it. Yes. Yeah. Luis.
Nostalgia machine.
I'll give it a 7.5. I really enjoyed it because I wasn't expecting anything from it for once, and it delivered.
Emily. Did you toot or something? What's going on over there?
What is that?
I have never tooted in front of you guys, okay? Let's just say we've been friends for over 10 years, and every MF in here has tooted on my couch.
I'm sure I've heard you toot.
I doubt it. I'm going to heavily doubt it.
Yeah, all right.
We'll catch you one day.
When you're 86 and can't.
Gotcha.
Remember when you said,
Remember on the 5th of November, you said you never tooted on anything but a blender.
all right. Nah,
I
I'm
can't
broken
find it.
over here because Luis is actually very funny.
Yeah. Hilarious.
He like looked around and was like sniffing, and he looked at your butt, Michelle, and he was like, and then he looks at himself and he like sniffs his shirt, and then he lifts his arm and like sniffs his pit,
It was you, wasn't it?
and he literally is just sniffing himself, and then he looks at me, and I'm like, yeah, I saw that whole thing. He literally lifted his arm up here and was
At least
like,
I would have hid my butt before I farted. I wouldn't just have it out.
Nah,
I might.
Michelle.
I don't know.
No, you wouldn't. You got no chill.
I have no. I'm the only Okie here. It's fine. Trey, you're part of
Dude, you were not
Okie
born in
from
Oklahoma.
California.
You don't have to be born in Oklahoma to be Okie.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
Moving on.
Anyway, Emily, your rating of Hocus Pocus 2.
I'm gonna say from a completely non-nostalgic perspective, 7.5. If we're just going like nostalgia, then I'd say a 7.
Okay.
But like definitely in the 7 range. Like the 63 I think is real low. 51, like those are just the
That's low.
That's the meanie millennials that came up in there and gave it
That's
that.
the us being hypocrites.
Cynical
Cynical.
peoples.
We're cynical about everything
Ain't
though.
got no house projects to do, so they're out here using their time doing other stuff.
We're also cynical because of side parts and skinny jeans. Okay, we're just mad about everything.
I think Trey slept through the whole movie, but he probably liked it.
Well, sure. The opinions of the 4-month-old, enjoyable, right? Yes, thank you.
We haven't let the kids watch it yet because I didn't know if it was going to be scary or not, but we could.
Have they watched the first one?
This one's way less scary than the first one.
Have they watched the first one?
No.
No.
I thought the first one was scarier than
I don't
this.
think Addie will like it.
I mean, the first one had like the cat getting run over and then its body reforming and stuff like that.
And more like
Creepy.
ghosties
The
and
first one
scaries.
was also inappropriate because I rewatched it the other day, and the little girl, like the sister, and with her brother and their whatever the other girl is, she's like at the party, right?
Right.
And she's like, "My brother likes your bazongas.
He likes your
them a
zabos.
lot."
Zabu.
Yabos. I was like,
Your
"What the?"
yabos, yeah. And they're talking about, virgins, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not a virgin." I'm like, well, you lit the black flame candle, so I think we know that you are a virgin.
And apparently that wasn't cool in the
It wasn't cool in the
93s.
and it ain't cool now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I would
Stay virgin-y.
I wouldn't say that this movie was particularly scary, although maybe there was like one point when they were like in the house and they were like being creepy, the witches, and they were appearing out of nowhere and stuff like that. That might have been a slightly scary
I don't
scene,
think it was
but
too bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably pretty perfectly watchable for a children's.
All right. I enjoyed.
So that has been Hocus Pocus 2. Let us know what you thought of this movie. Check us out on social media. We're at the Walt Vault Pod. Throw your score down in the comments. Let us know if you like this movie as much or less or more than the first Hocus Pocus. Did we mention that this is our 5th anniversary of the Walt Vault?
Oh snap!
Literally this episode.
This episode is our 5 years running, right? Our very first episode was on Halloween, and we did Hocus Pocus 1. So this is our anniversary ep.
2017.
Back in the day.
Lit
circle,
that black
baby.
candle again.
Yeah.
We relit the candle
We lit the
this
candle.
eve.
But now the candle is going out. No.
Oh my gosh!
I'm kidding.
Jeez.
Magica Maxima.
This is our last regularly scheduled bi-weekly episode. From here on out, the Walt Vault is going to go down to like a once-a-month-ish schedule.
Once a month at least, and more if we feel like it.
Yes, more if we feel like it, less if we get busy. Things of that nature.
Because we stay busy.
So make sure you're following, make sure you're subscribed, so that when a podcast does post, you see it in your feed. Because they're not coming quite as regularly as they used to be.
Or if you have a suggestion for something that you want us to do in the future, let us know. Because let's be real, we've done
We've
done it all.
We've done 185 episodes. You know, a few of those have been some Disney Plus shows, but the vast majority of them have been Disney feature films, right? So chances are we've done your favorite Disney movie already.
So it can be new, it can be old, it can be Marvel, it honestly can be Fox.
Yes.
It can be Blue Sky, right?
Yes.
We're not doing Ice Age though, so don't ask.
So on Disney Plus, we're doing it because Andre and I watched Edward Scissorhands last weekend, and I would love to do that because it was
quite fun.
very good.
Quite a good movie. So yeah, if it's
That's not even Fox. I don't even know what that is.
It's a Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
So if it's on Disney Plus, it is fair game for us to do. Drop it slide into our DMs. Let us know what movies you want us to review. And you can also send an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com, and we'll read that message on the show. Just some general housekeeping things. I think I'm going to shut the website down and the Patreon down. Just to save us a little bit of dough on the side. But don't worry, I'll still post some of our Patreon exclusive content to our main feed at some point in the future when I have some downtime. I'll start posting some of the old cracks that we used to do.
And hey, let's just say the biggest thank you to those of you who have been patrons.
Our patrons.
Not even this whole time, because I know,
Some have.
You come in.
New patrons, old patrons, new listeners, old
all
listeners.
the patrons.
Come in, you dip out. And
OG listeners. If you started listening last week, I'm sorry. But guess what? You have a lot of back catalog.
You have a lot of backlog. Absolutely.
Seriously, we got a lot of stuff, dudes.
We have a lot of content
Dudes.
out there. Dudettes. So go check it out.
Crikey.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Some of our older YouTube videos had actual video of us when we were
Gross.
doing our quarantine COVID videos.
Ay, caramba.
Some of them
Don't watch them.
I did edits.
Yeah, don't look. I didn't even bother getting ready on those.
They were mostly audio, but I threw in some pictures or some references and stuff like that when I had more time on my hands. So the content is a flowing on the Walt Vault, and it's not stopping completely. It's just slowing down just a tad. So in the meantime, between now and our next episode, head to @thewaltvaultpod on whatever social media platform you like to frequent. Follow us there. Slide into our DMs. Let us know what you thought of the movie. And until next time, that's right. Our next episode, I think we have decided, we are going to review the Disney Plus original series She-Hulk, which
is really easily watchable if you haven't, because the episodes are pretty short.
They're pretty short, and
Luis and I binged in a couple days,
Yeah.
like 3 maybe.
It's a good time. I recommend.
It's a
She-Hulk.
good time.
So that should be coming out some point in the month of November, possibly towards the end. We will see. And we will see you guys next time for some She-Hulky goodness. The vault is now closed.